This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And hey, if you're looking to join us for Reunion 2010, why not book with the travel agents at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel? They've got some great rates at resorts all over Walt Disney World, and they're going to get you one of the best options you can find. In fact, there's so many other options out there between, annual pass rates and rate codes and pin codes and the secret code if you mention Scopa's name, which doesn't exist. But, whatever the deal is, the travel agents at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help you get the perfect deal for you. They'll do all that footwork for you and find you the best option to attend Reunion 2010. Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, September 15th, 2010, and this is episode 773 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Matt, I'm really, really, really disappointed.
What do I do now?
We are starting our 6th year, and no one's giving away trips to Australia.
I'm assuming that's funny for a reason, but it's funny.
Oprah!
Yeah, Oprah gave away.
Is that what she did?
That's what she did.
Oh, sorry, I don't watch daytime TV. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Matt, I used to work at a frozen orange juice factory, but I got cans because I just couldn't concentrate.
That's the attraction called Boo.
Familiar with that.
Oh, that was a character in Monsters, Inc.
What's the attraction? Keep going.
Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise. It's always a good one because you never know what you're going to get on the Jungle Cruise. Right, Chris?
We know.
Also joining us on today's show is the fabulous Annette Owens, a manager of customer relations and group services for MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And Annette, clearly my pop culture references are just not here today.
Definitely not. How could you miss the Oprah thing? I mean, really?
There's your theme song. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to talk over it. And also joining us on today's show is Chris Eliopoulos of MiseryLovesSherman.com. Welcome to the show, Chris.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding. And we also have a very special guest on today's show. It's our good friend Becky Menken of MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Welcome to the show, Becky.
Great to be back, Matt. I don't know how to follow that theme song, though. That's rather scary.
Don't look at me. I didn't do it. I didn't
Yeah,
know
Matt. What's wrong with
But
you?
it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. That's right. Well, as Annette mentioned, it is Wednesday, but we're not answering your listener questions today. Instead, we're going to talk about Reunion, which is rapidly coming up in December. Yeah, I know. Really. It's almost Halloween, if you believe that. And, we're really excited for Reunion 2010. It's going to be a fun event. We're looking forward to building upon the real great foundation we laid last year. And you know what? There's many of you who have lots of questions about Reunion 2010. And we thought that today would be a great opportunity to help answer those questions about Reunion 2010. Maybe you're on the fence about Reunion. Maybe you're coming to Reunion, but you still got some questions. Or, maybe you're looking for that final push. Whatever it may be, this is your opportunity to learn a little bit more about this event that we're all really excited to be a part of for yet another year. And, Becky, with Reunion, there's lots of great events going on, but I'd love to really talk about the special events that we have planned, the ones that are really going to be the ones with the most, to borrow a phrase from Disney, the most magic in them. And these are going to be these hard ticket parties that we're talking about. And the first one is on December 3rd, and it's actually the Meet, Greet, and Eat event, which is going on in the Wonders of Life Pavilion from 1 to 3 p.m. And yeah, Wonders of Life Pavilion. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
This is going to be a really fun event, Matt. And I do kind of have to back up a little bit and just say this is one of the really great benefits of having a group that goes together, because you can put on these events and kind of pool together and experience some magic and some venues that you may not have seen before or things you may not have done. And for the Wonders of Life Pavilion, they have this area called the Wonders of Life Retreat, which is on the second floor of the pavilion. They have a private area up there for events, and it's a place that Annette and I have been wanting to do a couple of events at for some time, and we have not had the opportunity, so we're really excited about this. And what it's going to be is an opportunity to meet the WDW Today crew, and of course some MEI and Mouse Fan Travel agents will be there as well, and we'll have an opportunity to see people, to enjoy the atmosphere, go into a place that you probably haven't seen before. And we'll also be serving a lunch there as well. We have a brown bag lunch that will have like a deli sandwich and some tip choices, a beverage, and of course, dessert, because we can't do anything without dessert, apparently.
No, otherwise Annette wouldn't show up to these events.
Yeah.
The only way to get me there. Only way.
That's the trick to having a really good employee, Matt, is you just, put chocolate out there and,
It's cheaper than a paycheck. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. But the cost on this is going to be $19.75 a guest, and you'll be able to order tickets online. I think you're going to post the link on the Reunion site, right?
Yeah, it's going to be starting today. You'll be able to start booking tickets for that event, and that's an exciting event. I mean, it's been a while since we've been in the Wonders of Life Pavilion, and certainly being in this unique location is really going to be exciting. But I'd be remiss if I said I wasn't more excited, and this is relatively speaking, of course, about our other event, which is we're about to just announce it to the world because it hasn't been nothing about this has been on anywhere, and this is a really exciting event. And we're calling this event the Desserts and Delights event.
Guaranteed to get me there.
That's already signed up. So why a little about this one? Because this is a really interesting and something fun we've never done before.
We haven't done this before, and I am so excited about this event. This is one that has been in the planning for some time. We've been trying to pull off something like this for a while, and it kind of all stems from the fact that we all like desserts, right? So we're going to gather at Disney's Hollywood Studios, a park of which you are very familiar with, and we're going to have it's going to be the evening of the 4th. The time is subject to change. It's going to be in the evening. We're still kind of working out those little details, but we're going to go to a private location and have a wonderful dessert party. So once again, we can eat and greet and meet and have desserts again.
This is really like a really true family reunion where you have food everywhere.
All the time. Everywhere we go, there's food for some strange reason. That just typically is us, Annette, though, right?
Well, yeah, we're just sharing.
Yeah. So the really great part about it, though, however, Annette, you do have to go with me on this one, that the dessert list did look pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just checking. Just want to make sure I got that little stamp of approval in there. But the even better part is that after we have desserts, we're going to be escorted from our location, and we're going to be taken to the Osborne Lights for a private showing of a few songs and watching the dancing lights with just our group.
Get out!
No, really.
So we all have to run into each other and stuff, so it has the right feel for it. We got to all cram in together.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I mean, no crowds other than us. I mean, you're not elbow to elbow with somebody you don't know. You're not running into, you're not doing the shuffle down streets of America trying to make your way past the people because you just want to see them all in one foul swoop and just get out of there because there's too many people. No, This is your opportunity to see the lights unfettered without.
You can dance in the streets.
Yeah,
there'll be room.
We can
bring
move.
Those video cameras. Come on.
This is going to be fun. I mean, last year, and one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this is because Newell, you, and Chris and I, we all tried to see the Osborne Lights last year. And we got to the place. We had an hour and 15 minutes that we could have played with to go in. And it was like being packed like sardines. We could barely move. And we had to literally hold on to each other to get through the crowd. And just that experience alone made me go, you know what? Doing this event is so worth its weight in gold so that we can go and really experience the music. And I have a favorite song too that I want to have played, and it's going to be wonderful.
I was going to ask if I could still hug Newell at the.
Of course, I'm sure Newell will allow you to hug him.
I want a new picture of Chris hugging me for 2010.
Are we going to have that arranged time so we know when that's going to happen?
I'm sure we can do that. We can work.
That could be their Christmas card this year.
Aww. Now, of course, it is an event that those of us at Mouse Fan Travel are planning, which means there's also likely, because it is the holidays, going to be a little extra magic thrown in there somewhere. So you never know what might be happening. Oh, of course not.
You tell me now?
No.
Now?
How about now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
I'm so glad you told him, because now you're going to get emails all day long going, now?
Okay, yet?
Now?
Hey, there's like 4 months.
Little kid, you know?
events.
Well, for both events, you can start booking these right now at reunion.wdwtoday.com. And in fact, if this sounds remotely interesting to you, you really should book it immediately because these are going to sell out very quickly. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course we are sponsoring it, but the cost on this particular event, and of course you know what Disney can charge for one of these wonderful dessert parties, but to be able to have to walk into this on the street and see this privately, and it's going to be limited to about 100 people, so it's going to be a very small crowd for that big street. The cost on this is going to be $27 a person.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my God! All right,
see me ask for it.
can you? Here's my credit card. Hold on. Can we?
I already have
Gonna
that.
put it out on the podcast right now for everybody to hear.
Well, you can bleep that off, right, Mike?
No, I'm gonna write it down and use it myself. What are you kidding?
So
I would just
really,
go
really
for that.
excited. We are so excited about this. Thanks again, guys, for partnering up with us again for Reunion, because there's so much great things in store. And of course, these are just 2 of the hard ticket events. Imagine what we have for the other 4 or 5 days of the free meetups. And this is
More
this
food.
is exciting. More food.
Yeah, Reunion is, there's a lot of great things going on. We got these 2 events we just really detailed, but I mean, if you go to the Reunion website, you'll see quite a number of events, and there's, it really ranges from locations to subjects, and we brought back some of our favorites, and we've also instituted a lot of new ones. We don't want Reunion to be stale and be, it's the same old thing. I've been to Reunion once, I've been there 100 times. We want to keep it new and fresh, and we really worked hard this year to bring some new events to this. And I know that many people are interested in Reunion, but for whatever reason, it's kind of daunting. It's kind of, it's kind of a weird thing. You're going to go down to Disney World to go spend time with people that you've never met before in your life. Kind of a weird proposition. Chris, you were in this situation not too long ago. In fact, it was last year where you were, in this exact situation. And there are many people who are in the same situation. So, Chris, if you could talk to our listeners who are saying, I'd love to go to Reunion, but I'm a little, scared, anxious, worried, nervous, unsure, whatever it may be, what would you tell those people about an event like Reunion?
Don't be. I was really a bit unnerved meeting so many new people, and especially because I've been on the show, so people were a little bit more aware of me, and I didn't know a lot of other people. But it's like a reunion of your best friends and not your family, because you can always choose your friends and not your family.
Right.
And anybody that I came across were the sweetest, most welcoming people. I was alone there, basically. I didn't have anybody with me, and I was meeting some people for the first time, and they were just so gracious and helpful and, come along with us. What are you doing right now? Let's go. There was never a moment where I felt left out or confused as to what to do or who to see. There's so many people there that even if you're missing out on certain people, there's like 200 people there that are basically going to fill in the slots and take you around, and there's no pretenses. There's no issue of, I don't like you. I don't particularly care about that. It's like you're a Disney fan. Come on along. Let's go play. So, my worries and fears were gone. A minute in there, I met you guys just as you had finished up your show there, and I got like 15 hugs before I even saw you guys. So it was a nice feeling. So anybody who's worried about it and doesn't think they're going to know anybody, just show up.
I mean, well said, Chris. And it kind of speaks along those same lines. Mike Scope, I was going to ask you this question because someone actually, a good friend of mine, was saying, I want to come to Reunion, but I'm a little worried because I really dig Reunion, but my husband or my wife or my significant other, someone else who I travel with, basically, is not as ingrained in the Disney internet community. So I'm a little worried. I mean, we want to go, but, tell me why I don't have to worry about that, Mike.
Well, just to add to what Chris said, I think that it goes beyond just being in the venue that we're in, and that is the Disney environment. It's the people who are attracted by these events, and like Chris said, we're all friends. We're almost like a family, and I think that what Chris said goes a long way in that after the first minute or two, any fear, any thought of not being able to fit in, it's gone, completely dashed. And I'm guessing, Chris, that you probably thought to yourself, what was I worried about, in the first place? And that goes for, I remember talking with Kim, friend of the show, Kim. I forget her
Knight.
last name. Kim Knight, Kimberly Knight, and Kim and I talked about this too. How she had a great time, and I can't tell you how many people. I mean, 100% of those people who I have talked to who had gone down to either Reunion or Mousefest after the very first time they went down there, they said, "Oh my God, why did I wait? Why did I wait?" And I can understand the apprehension. I can understand the worry about, gee, all these people and everything. And one of the things that we try to do is we try to have something for everyone. And for the most part, everyone likes everything. And I think that's half the battle too. Not just having a meeting for several days, but to have things, activities, events that helps people break the ice, that helps people get comfortable with one another. And it's all part of the thing. And everybody can't wait for a reunion to get there. And then as soon as it comes, it goes so fast and everybody's dying for next year. That's one thing that I recall hearing from a lot of people who are going for the first time in previous years. They say, I can hardly wait for next year.
Yeah, and if I can add, the first night that we were in Magic Kingdom last year and we went to the party, right? Mm-hmm. There was a whole group of us that went from ride to ride to ride, and we went to Dumbo, and we went to on the Speedway, and we went on the TTA, and I didn't know many of them. Ever since then, I've become very good friends with all of these people since, and it's been like a bonding experience to, sit and go, okay, reunion's coming up, I can't wait, we're looking forward to it. So you really do make friends that stick with you for a while.
Absolutely. It's one of the reunion is designed. It's an event that everybody's welcome to join us for, and really you should feel free to join us not only for these events. You don't have to look at the schedule and see it as an itinerary. Rather, it's something that you can opt into. I will. I mean, maybe look, you're going to Walt Disney World. We understand you might have something else you'd want to be doing in Walt Disney World. So you can look at these schedule events and use them as kind of a basis point. Maybe you want to join us for every single event. That's awesome. We'd love to have you there and be a part of every single thing we're doing. But, if you've got something else going on, there's, it is the holidays, so some things, candlelight processionals going on, you want to get your favorite dinner somewhere, whatever it may be, feel free to join us for as little or as many events as you like to. And that's the beauty of it. It's not like you're committing, you're not paying a price to join us for these events, other than for the events that have a price to them. But I mean, there's not like an admission fee. You know what I mean? And, for Annette, when we're talking about reunion, a lot of people, a really common question is there a deadline for booking? Like, when do I have to decide by?
Well, if you're wanting to get one of our reunion packages through us, I hate to say it, but the deadline's like now. We're getting inventory's getting kind of slim, and the inventory with Disney's getting pretty slim. It's hard to find a value resort during this time frame. Mm-hmm. We do have some rooms in the moderate categories: Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, and we have a couple of deluxe properties that have some availability as well. But you could come to us. We can work with you to try and get the best price, the best location that you want. And we still have a few spots, not many, but a few spots for our dessert party on Friday night.
And of course, that is included in the package. I just want to make sure that was pointed out.
And yummy.
And yummy. Again, it's more desserts and more food.
I have to say that those dessert parties, Becky, over the years have spoiled me. I cannot watch Illuminations anymore without those dessert parties. I mean, it's just like, what's the point?
It's just not the same.
It's not.
That was awesome last year too. Because speaking of Kim, we were all sitting there at the. That is like the prime location where to watch the show and just hugging people and arms around people you didn't even know 2 days before, and enjoying the show. Oh my God, you can't even imagine the memories that you come away with.
Hey Matt.
Yes.
I noticed on the schedule that the Waffle House meet is not scheduled.
Oh.
Well, if it were, we would love to bring that meet back, but
I'm losing you. You're breaking up. I'm sorry. What? Hello? Anyone there?
Matt, can you hear me?
Actually, speaking of inside jokes that no one else is laughing to, Becky.
Yes, Matt.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Becky, could you explain? I'm sure there's a lot of people who may not. This is an inside joke that's kind of made its way back, and I think it's worth explaining. Skagway, Alaska. Why is that funny? And why is it so ingrained in reunion lore?
Okay, this happened. This was you and me that instigated this. I think it was because you knew that I had a big enough mouth that I could yell it to the entire group, and you really couldn't. Which, go figure. We're standing in line for Spaceship Earth. And Matt, you had the brilliant idea that we should all be from one location so that as the pictures of the people move towards the map, you can see where, most of us are from. But obviously, you didn't want to make it a spot that was somewhere that everyone else would be from. Like you wouldn't want to put New York or you wouldn't want to put Orlando. Okay. So Skagway, you looked at me and you said, where should we be from? And the first thing that hit my brain was Alaska, because, it's still the U.S., but it's way up in the corner. Alaska. And you went, Alaska, Skagway, Alaska. It just came out, and you went, okay. And so we yelled at everybody, when you get into the ride vehicle, you're from Skagway, Alaska. And it stuck.
Yeah.
And it's been a long-running joke. So, of course, when we return, the entire city of Skagway, Alaska is probably going to be getting on Spaceship Earth again.
Absolutely. So when you get the, Skagway is basically a reference just to the group from Reunion, because we're all from, in quotes, Skagway.
Yes, we are all one big family from Skagway, Alaska. All, 50-something of us that will probably be embarking on the journey at the time.
Mike Scopa, what's your favorite part of Reunion? And these, Reunion, obviously this is kind of lending itself to some of the previous events. There's a lot of Disney events that go on, meets, not only in December, but throughout the year. But why is it that, you recommend to people to come and join us for events like Reunion?
Why do I recommend?
Yeah, what brings you back every year? Why do you like it so much? And why do you tell people that they should check it out?
Well, here's the thing. I can remember when way back when we started doing Mouse Fest. And I think it was the second Mouse Fest that I noticed something very, very interesting that I never thought would ever happen when I would go down to Walt Disney World. And that is, and I'm addressing those listeners who have never been to Reunion. Imagine going through a Walt Disney World theme park, and every 5 minutes or so you see someone you know. Somebody calls out to you. Someone comes up, gives you a hug. How's it going? Shares a funny story with you. The camaraderie, the group feeling that you're there with a whole bunch of people. You're there with, it is like a reunion of your high school class or whatever. There's just so many people down there that you get to know. So going back during an event like Reunion is really heartwarming, because no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're always going to be seeing someone. You'll never be alone. That's one thing that I recall. So for those who are going down solo, they're really not going down solo. They're going to be with a whole bunch of people.
I think just for anybody thinking about going that hasn't been, jump in on the first day. We all stand in line together. You can't help but get to know people when you're standing in line, especially we're like all chatty Cathys in line, we're all just jibber jabbering about last time we were down or the last time we were on the ride, or, last time we saw each other. So, and I can talk to the wall. Yeah. So come stand next to me.
You just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a number of new meets this year. And, again, if you go to the Reunion website, you'll see one event, and this one I'm looking forward to quite a bit. Mike Newell, this is your event, quote unquote. It's the Bring It On 500. Do you want to explain this one a little bit to our listeners?
Yeah. The last time we went, last Reunion, 09. Anyway, we walked onto the Speedway, and I was supposed to take a car ahead of Becky and Annette because they were in the car behind me. I was supposed to take a picture of them in the car. Somehow, I don't know what happened. They were fighting over who was going too fast or whatnot, and I got way caught up ahead of them. And I'm driving really slow, trying to let them catch up to me. And this kid pulls up next to me, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he nods, and I nod back at him, and I said, "Bring it, kid." And we just floored the rest of the way. And I beat the pants off this kid.
And you were so proud of yourself, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So if you could bring your kids so we could use them as punching bags in our races, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. They'd love to come down. Any excuse to get down there.
And it was so much fun.
They just might beat you, though, Mike. Just saying. They just might beat you.
I was at the finish line going, "In your face, kid."
See, these are the kind of, these are really, these fun-spirited events, and this is really what Reunion's all about. Just having these kinds of great times together and, spending that kind of a long weekend together at Walt Disney World. And, certainly not only will lots of our listeners be there for you to meet, maybe you know them, maybe you haven't met them before, but also, you get to spend time with us. And, it's really that opportunity to, have a really unique chance to tour Walt Disney World with a lot of friends. And I really think it's such a fun and interesting thing. I mean, really, everyone it's been said before, but really everyone that, has been to these types of meets before, but be it Reunion, be it one of our 10 Fest events, Magic Meets, whatever it was, they just love that, this kind of opportunity to be together and spend time together. And I think that's why, if you're considering it at all, it's something that I really hope that you'll take the opportunity to make that leap and join us for it, because it's that kind of a fun opportunity. Because, we've got the fun events like the hard ticket parties that Becky mentioned, the delights and desserts and the meet, greet, and eat. And we've also got a lot of these, fun events that, just require regular park admission, and they're just this opportunity to have a lot of fun. So, looking forward to it. Anyone want to add some parting thoughts here about Reunion and maybe something that we didn't touch upon?
Butterfinger cupcakes.
That too, but before we go there, because that is my favorite, I do want to mention, though, that we finally will see Mike Newell show up at the Rock Fall and Wheat Meet.
Maybe.
You can stand and wheat.
Maybe.
You promised this year. Last year you said, I'll be there, and of course you slept in. Was that your excuse?
I had a meeting to attend too.
Right. But you're going to be there this year.
It's on the schedule.
Yes, it is.
Committal for you.
For the Butterfinger meet, which Chris alluded to, we got to come up with some good photo ideas for the Butterfinger cupcake meet, like something like
No hands.
No hands. Absolutely.
No forks or hands allowed.
Oh my God.
Rock on.
That would be
great.
funny.
So, how many are you going to eat?
How much time do we have?
No, how much? How many Butterfinger cupcakes can you down?
I don't. When's the one who claims he could eat it in like 2 or 3 bites?
3 bites. He said he could eat it in 3 bites.
No way.
I got to see this.
And
Yeah,
Tootsie Pop guy? What the? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Butterfinger cupcake? Let's find out.
The world may never know.
In other words, everyone bring your flip cameras because it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Did we tell him he couldn't use his hands?
Let's not tell him until we get there.
All the information about Reunion you can find at reunion.wdwtoday.com. Don't forget those special events, the desserts and delights, and the meet, greet, and eat events are going to be on sale starting today. So again, if you want those tickets, act now, Janine.
Come on, you want to come? You know you do.
Exactly. So we're looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to trying out these new things, and as well as being able to revisit some old favorites with lots all of you that are listening. So I think it's gonna be a really fun event, and I really can't wait for December to roll around for this. And of course, want to mention that this episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by our Reunion partners, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel.
Yay!
And, like we mentioned, if you're coming to Reunion or really any trip you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to want to choose MEI and Mouse Fan Travel for your travel planning needs, because they're going to get you the best deal out there. I mean, it's not like, it's not about, just, hey, I want to have this deal. Okay, sir, we'll just, fill it out. No. They're going to look it for you. They're going to figure out what's the best deal for you. And then, cater their services towards you. Give them a try. I bet you're going to like what you find. Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us on the WDW Today webpage at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, the fabulous Annette Owens, Chris Eliopoulos, and of course, the lovely Becky Menken, I'm Matt Hotchkiss. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.